Alright, so this was originally going to be a no movement D100 video, but it's proving to be a lot harder than I expected. I've got close a few times with a couple of different setups, but nothing really has got past the gin yet, so it's kind of hard. But instead I'm just going to bring you one of my favorite builds. I need to change his feet because they're not actually the feet I should be wearing. One of my favorite builds for Avoron, which is Power Area Avoron. I have some boots in here I should be wearing for this, and I'm trying to find them. I just wish there was a way I could organize this a bit better. But yeah, Power Area Avoron is great. It pretty much fills your screen with fear, kills everything, and then you just kind of semi-AFK the run. So let's see if we can get it going. Why am I blind? Where are the boots? Should have like some boss damage boots in here somewhere. Alright, let's just should be like around here. There they are. Yeah, so it's like pretty much it's built around power area. We're using Pharaoh's belt to like gain as much pull area as possible without needing to get force, because obviously with a lot of pull area, pull damage, power damage, you're gonna start killing things outside of your natural shard pull range. So if we like remove this belt, actually let's not do that because it'll destroy a lot of builds. But basically, if you remove 6,000 from this, you're only going to have like 10k shard pull area, which is going to create issues when you're killing stuff off screen. But this build requires you to get specific things, namely fear. Nin is also one of them, so that's great to see early. Your attack doesn't really matter, so we'll just take crushing attack. We're not going to banish it though. One, because we don't actually have many banished dice, but two, because we actually want to level our attack to scale into consecration. Although we're not going to do a lot of attacking once we actually have fear and rock shield, it is nice to have those for that reason. So here's fear. We are going to roll and hopefully find a better rarity. That's very unfortunate. Okay. That's fine. Expert is fine because we are running devotion for the being able to upgrade it to master office, into master chance, into master rarity, sorry. And yeah, we don't really have to attack anymore, so we're just gonna like power walk around, look for shrines and stuff. Because the great thing about this build and why it's so good in terms of actually clearing is because it's taking advantage of every single multiplier bucket for power area. And what I mean by that is items multiply with your talents, talents multiply with blessings and shrines, and that's like 3 different buckets. Because they all multiply in these ways, it's if you get a lot of power area from your gear, and then you have power area from your talents, every source of power area that we now pick up in the run itself is going to be much more value because of that. So the third god that we want here now can either be Justice for defensive reasons, or Summer. I prefer Summer because it brings more damage. We'll take Curiosity Shield. We only spent 1 dice to get basically 8. Keep looking for shrines. It's pretty simple, really. We want to get a some life fun kill from some shrines eventually, just in case, because we're not running much life here at all. And if we don't get, say, persistence or fear leveled up very quick, then we'll run into an issue of some archers will hit us off screen. Ooh. Fastest intensity. That's great. And now we are at 800. Yeah, and because same thing with power area, how we're pulling from all 3 buckets, like having very big sources from 3 buckets to make good use of the scaling of this game. We're doing the same thing with power damage. We have power damage on gear, we have power damage coming from talents, and we're going to be getting power damage within the run itself. So our power damage will scale very high as well. Cool. Don't really care for too much from the fates right now. We'll save a fusion. I mean, Melodi's cool, but I'm not going to take it just because we don't need it. I don't really like taking legendaries because let's face it, legendaries are very, very strong. I don't like builds being built off the back of something that's like very RNG to get if you're not running much offer chance, which this build's not using any master offers at all, so it's completely RNG if we find legendaries or not. Keep running, collecting experience, slowly work our way towards the left to see if we can find some shrines. A master's persistence right now would be great. Okay, expert's also fine. And Fear gets some crazy area scaling. Like really, really, really crazy scaling. More pickup drops is fine. Gives us chance of magnets. We are running 1 point in the talent from our talent tree for getting a divine shield. There's no other reason here other than we could have thrown it into tectonic plate for a little bit more damage scaling, but since I'm not running much life, I wanted something to just protect me from being untapped. Cool. Hopefully this gives us fear. Cool. Getting levels into fear as fast as possible is very important for killing the bosses. Cast damage is kind of meh. Let's quit this now. We pretty much got everything we need now. We will eventually pick up rock shields as well, just so we have a little bit more boss damage. And flare as well, because flare is just... honestly, flare is pretty good. It does a very good job at dealing with archers if they stand outside of your fear range later. And since flare can destroy projectiles, it's an extra layer of defense. More persistence. Attack damage equals power damage. 874. Cool. I've shown this off a little bit in the Discord for Death by Sky, just via little clips here or there. I haven't actually ever done a full video for it, and I haven't uploaded in a while, so I thought, might as well. Let's just make one. I don't want any of these. We're actually going to start banishing some of this stuff out. We'll take fear. Should really banish some of the stuff out of Thoughts Pool, just so we can have more consistent fear levels. We should also just take a random dash, just so we can then banish a dash out of the pool. So like, for example, I mean, I want the extra power up in intensity. So now, because of the fact that was only a 20% increase, so this went from 20% to 40%, so that's technically just a 20% gain. But because of the fact it's a blessing and multiplying with our gear and talents, it's giving us massive amounts. So we actually gained like just under 200% power damage there. Like this. Should have saved that magnet, in all honesty, and for when we have our scaling and stuff built up. Extra level persistence. And yeah, you can see here now already, the area is getting pretty crazy. And once we have everything upgraded to Masters, our screen will basically be purple. This shrine doesn't really matter. We'll take attack area just so we can hit more rock shields at once when we get rock shields going. Level up offers would be nice, but I want to counter the, start slowly countering off the D100 healing reduction. We'll just alter out this assistance again. I should have taken the attack rarity upgrade, but we can still get that later, that's fine. Fear level. This is why we need Rock Shield, just for the big ones that get close to us. Our passive regen's quite nice because we have regen on a couple of item slots. Like we've got 0.4 here. I think that's actually all we've got. Oh yeah, 0.3 on the gloves as well, which gives us 1.4 total, which is quite nice. It's gonna help quite a bit for any chip damage we do manage to take until we find stuff like life per kill. Since like our area is going to get so big, just having one life on kill is going to make a great difference in our total amount of regen we get. Pretty much everything's going to spawn in, everything's going to die, and we'll get a heal per kill almost. Now this build does have one minor flaw, which is the boss damage isn't the greatest later. So we'll have to kite the Jin a tiny bit, which is fine. We can pretty much stay out of lethal range just by distancing him and using the pillars to cover the flamethrower. And then just throw rocks as we kite. Unless we find some like crazy shrines, then we might be okay. Might take the rock shield at adept here. Now we'll just take the level and attack. We're about to have the first boss spawn, so let's see if we can find a damage shrine or something leading up to it. If not, that's okay. Oh, power damage increase. Alright, so the first boss is here. Just kite inside the fear circle. As you can see, it's just pretty much dead. And we haven't actually done anything apart from just walk in a circle. Hit the hill. Now that we've upgraded Fear to Master, look at this area scaling. It's amazing. Fortunately, Radiance would technically be more DPS, but Radiance suffers from the fact that it doesn't have area per level. And what I mean by that is, it's like every time you level up Radiance, it's not gaining extra area, but Fear is. So you end up just killing everything with Fear before it actually gets into Radiance's circle. And then for Radiance to ramp up, they need to stay inside Radiance's zone. And anytime an enemy leaves that zone, you have to re-ramp it. And why that's an issue is because you have bosses like the Jin that like to teleport. So if you don't kill the boss within the first ramp of Radiance, it will teleport, and then you have to re-ramp your Radiance back up to be able to finish it off. Where you could just take Fear and just do this. I don't like running both Radiance and Fear, just because then you have to either sacrifice power damage or you have to sacrifice power area, because you can't have all four gods, obviously. Now you could take Possibility, the jewel that allows for a fourth god, but at that point you're also sacrificing an item slot for the fourth god just for one blessing, and it's not worth it. It's extra levels as well you have to account for. Like, you need more experience then to level the extra blessings, etc. This is far more simple. We definitely should try and finish off Fear here. Oh, well, we'll take the intensity. Pretty much the rule of thumb is, when altering, if it's an important blessing for your build, just level it. Unless you're trying to lock in your third god still, pretty much just level your important blessings as they're offered. I'll take an extra Vanish Dice. Vanish Dice are incredibly powerful. Alright, there's Fear. 480. And if we find any shrines that have power area, then we're pretty much going to be sitting pretty. Now you could throw Waste on, have more Master offers, and then drop Devotion so you don't actually need to upgrade things to Masters, etc. But then you lack the pull area. That, as you'll see later, does becoming a very prominent issue. So we'll take the area for our attack here. Now we've just become a plague of death. Take the intensity. Now that's 100%. We go up to nearly 2,000 power damage. Cool. We actually got tagged by those archers. That's kind of sad. That's why we need the area increases. Cool. Once Fear is level 10 as well, we'll be laughing. There are some big shrine effects that could be very good for us. We're gonna take the flare here, just because what I said before. Now flare has some pretty funny area scaling as well, but just for what I said before, where I emphasize this, flare is going to help with destroying the archers that attack, because they trigger on attack windup, not attack release. So as the archer starts the attack animation, if flare procs, it will fire an arrow and hit them or the arrow that they fire, and that'll do a lot of the work for us. Pretty much going to take damage from shrines if it's offered. My general rule of thumb is survivability from shrines until you feel like you don't need it anymore. Utility from shrines if it's important, stuff like pickup drops, movement speed, etc. And then damage. But in builds like this, where I feel generally pretty safe, I'll just take damage if it's offered, just because the fact I'm not too worried about things hitting me. These guys can be a problem if we don't get scaled up, mainly the caustic versions, just because we have such a low life total. That's another thing as well. From shrines that offer life, I'm always going to take life, because I just don't like being within one-shot range. Rock Shield Expert is fine, besides my rocks. Now, if you did want to do like a legendary version of this, you could drop Summer and pick up Crom for God of War. This will offer you more damage than getting the power damage upgrades, mainly because you're going to get access to God of War and War Pact, which God of War is one of the strongest and most valuable sources of damage percent. And then War Pact itself is a damage modifier, so this will calculate to the final result of your damage, instead of just lumping into the general calculation of like your stats. We'll take a fusion at Masters, that's fine. A little bit more pool area for as our area gets bigger. Or you could throw Justice on, grab Retribution and some armor scaling, move the defense node from the talent into Tectonic Plating, so you just get a little bit more damage percent scaling from that. And then also have access to stuff like Inner Peace, but that requires you to also drop a bunch of stats to get consistent. We're going to take the luck here for Flare. That then requires you to drop a bunch of stats on your gear to get consistent legendary offers via Masters and Legend. So it's kind of a give and take. You'll end up near the same values. You just might have a little bit easier earlier game with Inner Peace. Rock Shield level. We will end up attacking the Rock Shield to deal boss damage. Alright, hopefully this gives us either power crit, because Fear can crit, or it will give us power area, give us power duration, which is useless. We should be fine versus Insect Queen, because we should kill all the Guardians that protect her pretty quickly. Take the Fear. It's already up to nearly 10k area scaling. This is why we need Fair as well. You can see we're grabbing the experience from off screen now. We can pretty much just stand here and do this. we want to keep moving a little bit just so we can find some more shrines to help scale this up. Try and protect our Divine Shield. Now, from shrines, you could also take cooldown reduction, where I took the experience per second earlier. Just so you have more uptime on your Divine Shield. Or cooldown for your Divine Shield, I should say. Still there. Flare destroyed all those projectiles. We will take... You know what? We're actually going to take crushing attack levels, just to get some more power area, and then we can take the master upgrade when it's offered, and that will scale even more power damage for us. Oh, this would have been nice a second ago. Now, this is using a couple of items that are technically not generatable anymore. Namely the relic here. Like, this relic wouldn't be able to generate like this anymore, because this was from the second patch that came out after Act 2, where they messed with values a little bit. But everything else in here is from current patch, pretty much, and is able to be generated now. So, this is the only item, really, that you wouldn't be able to find. But you can just replace that. You'll lose a little bit of power damage scaling, but you could just replace that and put on something like Fried Rice for more consistency. You could put on even Genie and try and bump up your legendary offers and stuff. You could throw on just any other relic with damage stats on them. You could also throw on a 54% luck relic just to have Flare do some more funny stuff. But all in all, you're not missing much by not having it. You could technically just make up that that missing percent with shrines anyway. I'm actually very surprised that we haven't found any of the power tables. There's like a shrine that gives you... I'm just going to take evasion for the Jin. There's a shrine that can give you power area scaling. See, like here, we could take the cooldown reduction here to reduce the cooldown of this. It's got like 0.2 cooldown reduction scaling. So 100% cooldown reduction would only actually be about 20% cooldown reduction. But any cooldown on that is better than having no cooldown at all. Here we could take an extra level, but I'm going to take the life just for insurance. Generally though, the level offer from that is usually better, just to get your scaling going faster. Since Flare is almost level 10, I think Persistence is level 5, yeah, and then Intensity is already level 5. It's we're pretty much already scaled where we need to be, so I'll take the life for insurance. Like I said as well, we still have to be kind of worried about the caustic bombers, just because if they throw a caustic off screen and I'm not paying attention, it lands at my feet. It ticks so fast that it could just Thanos snap you. It could just straight up kill you without you realizing, or without you being prepared, I should say. These shrines are pretty much useless. I'm just going to take movement speed. Take some more attack damage scaling. You could also replace Summer with Lei Gong. Throw lightning bolts on. Lightning bolts are a very good single damage source for power. They do a lot of damage. I have the talent set up in a way as well where I use less of the defensive-based things. So we don't have Vanguard, etc. We don't have block. It is a rather squishy build. This is probably about as glass cannon as you'll get for Avoron, really. So luck for flare. Luck's also good because it means it increases our pickup drops a little bit. They still haven't changed that out of the game yet, so luck still affects pickup drops. What was that sword? Don't really care for it. Don't really care for this. My inventory, my stash is full, so I'm gonna have to drop some of these. That's useless. That's bad. That's actually useful. And that's very useful. That's not. Fear? Oh, I didn't even realize Fear isn't even level 10 yet. Ooh, it is now. Alright, so... War power duration. Unfortunate. Be cool if they gave some powers, some power duration scaling, so it's not just alteration. Like, imagine something like Rock Shield with power duration made it so when you fire it, it like circles back around or something. Probably would never happen, but it'd be pretty cool. Turn them into like a boomerang effect. Why did that have to have duration on it? That would have been very nice. I'm actually going to keep it though, because I have an idea of what I could do with that. That's basically just a better rock sword at that point. I don't really care for anything else from this. Ooh, unfortunate. We'll start banishing some stuff though. The build's pretty much done. We basically just want to see Nin at this point to try and rarity up the 2 offers that she has. And so we can level Rock Shield. Sovereignty is damage. Did not roll that much damage, unfortunately. But at least this is showing this with bad Shrine RNG as well. Usually I don't like using Devotion from Avoron's tree. I think it's like a waste of talent. Just in Act 2 in general, really, because Act 2 has the Scarab Beetle shrines that can give you upgrade to Masters anyway. And it's like a very easy source for it. But if it never shows up, then you feel kind of sad. That's the only reason I have it on right now. Otherwise, I'll just drop that point into Tectonic Plating as well for even more damage. Alright, let's just throw some rocks as we kite. See, he just teleports. If we had Radiance, that means we would have just lost all that Radiance damage. Let's throw rocks through the pillar. And there we go. And that is Power Area Avoron. Let's quickly look at these drops. Nothing very good here, so we'll just drop all of this. These 3 items we're going to keep, though. Show off the stats real quick at the end. We ended up going to 2,320 power damage. Power area wasn't that great in the end. We only had 480%, but even at 480%, it's still more than enough. I think the best I've had with this is around 710, and that started creating that around the 650 mark was where they got into the issue of it was killing enemies off screen even with this much pull area. I was creating a bottleneck of experience that forced me to move. But yeah, this is how those stats generally start to look. Talent wise, I'll go over with the gear when we come out. You'll see Fear's numbers in a second. Fear is bonkers because of just how big you can get it. Yep, 75 million. Rock Shield only did 800k. All in all, it's a pretty average run for this. We could have had this at Masters, we could have had this at Masters. If we got this to Masters, we would have been around just under 600% power area. Could have got this to Masters, which would have gave us even more power damage via talent conversion. Sorry. It's middle of winter, my immune system sucks, so of course I have a cold. Going over gear, power damage, power area, master offers, power damage, projectile velocity doesn't really do anything. Projectile velocity is supposed to affect rock shield, but it's not. Power damage, power area, it's very minor power area, but the extra projectile for rock shield, the minor amount of power area is nice because obviously it's all multiplicative. Power damage, power area, power damage. This one is an old jewel as well. You can still get jewels like this, it just would roll with a tiny bit less power damage. Barrett's belt for the shard pool area. Like I mentioned before, this is just because of how far we're killing stuff. Power damage, power duration. I never got lucky to get a second, basically jewels and rings for the most part can roll the exact same things. I never got lucky to get a ring like this, so this was the highest power damage ring I had. Power damage, life regen. Random boots that have some damage modifier on it. You can probably get better. Like I have a pair of light feet that have damage to elites, which would be much better than these. But nonetheless, any damage roll on boots is cool. Yeah, that's the gear. Going over talents, we have power damage. This is very important. We have some dice, which is for controlling gods. If you're using strategic fried rice, you can opt to drop these if you wish. I wouldn't ever recommend it. More dice is always better, but you can choose to drop these in favor for something like, say, more luck for flair, damage for just generally more damage by having conviction, or even hardened steel. We then come down into pool area to help out with grabbing those shards as we're killing things from so far away. Attack damage scaling for a later talent. And then we have, I'm not going to try and pronounce the first word, but we have this talent here for the plus 15% damage, for more damage. Some life, just so we're not within one-shot range of random mobs. Skip this row, it's not really that beneficial to us. You could put points into Holy Restoration to try and counter out some of the D100 modifier, but honestly, I've just come to terms with just trying to ignore that modifier as if it didn't even exist, and just playing around killing stuff before it becomes a problem. Devotion for upgrading to masters. Power area scaling, this is the creme de la creme. You need this for the build's function. This is how we get so much power area, because this is multiplicative of your gear, it's multiplicative of talents, it's multiplicative with gear, multiplicative with blessings, multiplicative with shrines. 1 point of divine protection, just to protect us from caustic bombers, etc. Consecration, this is where we're converting our attack damage into power damage. So as we're leveling up our attack blessing in the run, we're gaining more power damage. As we're taking things like Zeal here, we're getting more power damage. Champion, we're getting more power damage. And then we have things like Shrines that randomly give you attack damage, will give you more power damage. It's all very nice, it all comes together and flows nicely together. And yeah, that's pretty much power area Avoron. If you wanted to turn this into a lightning bolt build, just take out the luminosity here, throw those into anywhere really. Like you could throw 3 points up into hardened steel, drop these two and put them into tectonic plating, so that way you can still navigate down the tree normally. And yeah, you would have more damage scaling that way. And then you could just power walk around with a lightning bolt and drop all the area from your gear for power damage and projectiles, and you'll have a nice build. Wow. So, maybe a cast Avoron at some point, but I don't know. That's pretty much time-filled stuff. Ow. Wait. I mean, we're taking that. We're taking that. I have a better one of those. If this isn't proof that the shop offers you better things than the run does most time, like, it's not obviously true, it's just RNG, but since you're seeing more items in your shop at once, it's like you'll feel like you're seeing better items from the shop more than you are the run. But it's like, the shop is crazy, always check your shops. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you at some point. I don't know when the next video will be, but let's hope it won't be another year. So I'll catch you guys later.